Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back in time all the way to 15th century Korea to live the absolutely brutal life of a court lady in the Chosun Dynasty. But I'm not talking about the kind of glamorous, silk-wearing life you see in the K-dramas. Oh no. This is the real deal. The mud, the endless work, the political backstabbing that could get you killed in an instant. This is a world where your beauty is a curse, your silence is a weapon, and your survival depends on a precarious tightrope walk between power and oblivion. You'd probably last about 2 days before you got caught stealing a handful of rice and ended up banished to some freezing, desolate corner of the kingdom. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You don't choose this life. It chooses you. Your life up until this very moment has been a simple, if not particularly joyful one, in a small farming village. Your hands are calloused not from embroidery, but from pulling weeds and carrying heavy water buckets from the well. Your world is the rhythm of the seasons, the planting of rice in the spring, the long hot days of summer, tending to the fields, the harvest festival in the autumn, and the cold, quiet struggle of winter. You know the names of the plants, the feel of the earth, and the songs your mother sings while she cooks. You have a younger sister, a younger brother, and a father who works himself to the bone to provide for the family. You've never known hunger, but you've always known hardship. Then the royal decree arrives. Not for you, not for your family, but for the entire province. The Chosun Dynasty is in need of new Gungyo Palace women. The king's court is an ever-hungry beast, a complex machine that needs a constant supply of new bodies to clean, to cook, to serve, and to perhaps one day catch the eye of the king. The decree is an order, not an invitation. Every family with an unmarried daughter of a certain age is required to present her for consideration. It's a lottery you don't want to win, and yet the village elders insist. They see it as a chance, a remote possibility that one of their own might one day gain a position of influence. They whisper about the honor, the prestige, the opportunities. They don't talk about the isolation, the back-breaking labor, the endless years of servitude. Your mother weeps. Your father's face is a mask of stoic grief. You are just a girl, barely a woman, and yet your future is being decided for you by men you've never met. You are bathed, scrubbed clean, and dressed in the nicest clothes. Your family owns a simple worn handbook, but to them, it's a treasure. You are instructed to stand tall, to keep your eyes down, and to not speak unless spoken to. You're one of dozens of girls from your village and hundreds from the surrounding region, all of you lined up in a dusty courtyard, waiting for the officials to pass judgment. The officials are stern-faced men in fine robes. They don't look at you as people, but as objects to be inspected. They check your teeth, the suppleness of your hands, the length of your neck. They ask a few questions, and your answers are so quiet you can barely hear them yourself. You are terrified a small animal caught in a trap. They reject most of the girls, sending them home with a wave of a hand. You see the relief on their faces, the quiet joy of being able to return to their simple lives. But then an official stops in front of you. His eyes are cold, appraising. He nods once, a simple final gesture. You're in. Your mother's sobs echo in your ears as you're led away. You don't look back. You can't. The journey to the capital is long and arduous. You travel with a group of other girls, all of you silent and wide-eyed. The world you know is disappearing behind you, replaced by a landscape of rolling hills and unfamiliar trees. You are a commodity being transported, a piece of property. The guards are indifferent. The older palace ladies who accompany you are cold and stern. They tell you to forget your old life, your family, your name. From now on, you are nothing but a servant of the court. You are given a new, more refined name, one that sounds alien on your tongue. You arrive at the palace gates, and your world shrinks to the size of this massive, sprawling complex. The walls are high, the buildings grand and ornate. There are so many people, a constant flow of servants, guards, and officials, all moving with a purpose you don't understand. The sounds are different here. The rustle of silk, the soft padding of footsteps, the distant shouts of men in the training grounds. You are given a coarse cotton uniform, a simple white blouse, and a dark skirt, and your hair is pulled into a tight knot at the back of your head. You are no longer yourself. You are a low-ranking palace maid. Your training begins immediately. You learn the intricate rules of court etiquette, a complex dance of bowing, walking, and speaking that could get you punished for the slightest mistake. You learn to speak in a specific formal language, a language that is a far cry from the casual dialect of your village. You learn to serve tea, to fan the nobles, and to clean with a meticulousness that is almost impossible to achieve. You are constantly watched, constantly corrected, and constantly reminded of your lowly status. Your days are a blur of endless tasks, and your nights are spent in a communal room with dozens of other girls, all of you sleeping on thin mats on the floor, dreaming of a life you've lost. One of the more memorable punishments you witness is for a girl who accidentally spills a cup of tea on a high-ranking official. She is not beaten or thrown out. Instead, she is forced to spend a week scrubbing the palace floors with nothing but a small cloth and a bucket of cold water, her hands raw and bleeding. The message is clear: your mistakes are not just your own. They are a stain on the entire court. You learn to move with a quiet, careful grace, to anticipate needs before they are spoken, and to become almost invisible. Historians still debate the exact reasons for the Chosun dynasty's strict and often brutal social hierarchy, but many agree that it was a system designed to maintain order and control in a vast and complex society. Your life is a testament to this system. You are a cog in a machine, a nameless part of a grander design. You are taught that your purpose is to serve the king and the royal family, that your life has meaning only in relation to theirs. It's a bitter pill to swallow, especially when you remember the warmth of your mother's embrace and the laughter of your brother. The food is different, too. It's not the hearty, simple fare of your village. It's often bland and monotonous, a far cry from the rich, complex dishes you see being prepared for the nobles. You eat what you are given, and you are thankful for it because you know that many outside the palace walls are not so lucky. The days blur into weeks, the weeks into months. You lose track of time. You learn the names of the other maids, but you don't form any real friendships. There is a quiet competition among you, a subtle understanding that a misstep from one of you could be a stepping stone for another. You are assigned to the royal laundry, a massive building filled with vats of boiling water, piles of dirty clothes, and the constant smell of lye soap. This is the place where the true brutality of court life is revealed. The work is physically demanding and relentless. You lift heavy baskets of clothes, you scrub them on rough washing boards, and you wring them out with hands that ache with every movement. The cold water numbs your fingers in the winter, and the steam from the vats makes the summer heat unbearable. This is your life now, the endless cycle of washing, drying, and folding. It's a brutal reality that your delicate hands were never meant for. The more experienced maids are cruel barking orders and pushing you to work faster, harder. They see you as a threat, a new mouth to feed, a new body to compete with. They tell you stories of maids who failed, who were sent away, who were beaten for a single mistake. They tell you that a palace maid's life is not her own, that she belongs to the palace, to the king. You learn to keep your head down, to work in silence, and to not draw attention to yourself. The laundry room is a world unto itself, a microcosm of the entire court with its own unspoken rules and hierarchies. One of the most peculiar things you learn is the special care given to the king's clothes. They are washed separately with a special soap and dried on a specific rack. It's an unspoken rule that only a few select maids are allowed to touch them, and you are not one of them. You watch them from a distance, their movements slow and reverent, as if they are handling something sacred. The king is a distant, almost mythical figure to you, a person you will probably never see. His clothes are the closest you will ever get to him, and even that is a privilege you are denied. The royal family's power and prestige is so immense that even their dirty laundry is treated with a kind of religious awe. This subtle but profound distinction reinforces your place in the court. You are a servant, and a very low one at that. A fun fact you pick up from one of the older maids is that historically, Chosun Dynasty laundresses were so meticulous that they would even use a special kind of starch made from rice to ensure the king's clothes were perfectly crisp. This level of detail was seen as a form of respect and dedication, a way to show loyalty through silent service. You can't help but feel a tiny pang of irony. Here you are, scrubbing clothes, and the rice that could have fed your family is being turned into a stiffening agent for the king's robes. It's a testament to the sheer extravagance and imbalance of the royal court. As the days turn into weeks, you become a ghost of your former self. Your laughter is gone, replaced by a quiet, weary resolve. The memories of your family are fading, becoming more like dreams than reality. You are learning to survive, to endure, to become a part of the palace machine. You are a palace maid now, and there is no going back. This is your new life, a brutal and unforgiving existence, where you are just a number, a body, a pair of hands. You are a low-ranking member of the court, a person who will live and die within these walls, a silent witness to a world of power and politics that you are not a part of. And yet, you are right in the middle of it all, a pawn in a game you don't even know how to play. You fall asleep on your hard mat, your hands raw and aching, the smell of soap and laundry still clinging to your skin. You dream of a life you once had, a life of simple joys and quiet contentment. But when you wake up, you are still here in the cold, dark room surrounded by the silent breathing of the other maids. The sun will rise soon, and with it, another day of endless toil. Your journey has just begun, and the road ahead is long and treacherous. You wake up to the sound of a distant bell, a jarring clang that signals the beginning of another grueling day. Your body aches, every muscle protesting the relentless labor of the day before. The other maids are already stirring, a quiet rustle of cloth and the soft murmur of hushed whispers. There is no time for groaning or self-pity. You have a schedule to keep, and the palace waits for no one. You dress in the same coarse uniform, your hands moving with a practiced, weary efficiency. This is your new reality, a life of routine and repetition. A world where personal comfort is a forgotten luxury. The laundry room is a hive of activity by the time you arrive. The air is thick with the smell of wet cloth and lye soap, a scent that now defines your existence. The older maids, the ones who have been here for years, move with a grim determination. They are hardened by the work, their faces etched with lines of exhaustion. They don't talk much, their communication a series of sharp glances and clipped commands. You are at the bottom of the hierarchy, and your place is to listen, to obey, and to work. Your task for the day is to scrub the heavy cotton uniforms of the palace guards. These are not the delicate silks of the nobles, but thick, coarse garments stained with dirt and sweat. You haul a massive basket to your station, a small wooden washing board, next to a large stone basin filled with cold water. The weight of the basket makes your shoulders burn, and you have to fight the urge to groan aloud. The water is freezing, and as you plunge your hands into it, a sharp pain shoots up your arms. Your knuckles are already raw and chapped, and the lye soap only makes it worse. You scrub with all your might, a rhythmic back-breaking motion. The grime is stubborn, caked into the fibers of the cloth. You have to use a small, stiff brush to get at the deeper stains, a task that makes your fingers ache and cramp. The sounds of the laundry room are a constant symphony of toil. The slap of wet cloth against stone, the harsh scrape of brushes, the hissing of the boiling water in the vats. It's a brutal, relentless world, and you are a tiny, insignificant part of it. A memory of your mother humming a lullaby while she did the family laundry floats into your mind, and you have to clench your jaw to keep the tears from falling. The memory is a ghost, a beautiful, painful reminder of a life you can never return to. One of the most peculiar rituals you observe is the washing of the queen's undergarments. They are not handled by you or any of the low-ranking maids. Instead, a small group of senior maids, all of them older and more experienced, takes them to a separate basin. They wash them with a special fragrant soap, and they do so with a reverence that borders on the religious. They are not just washing clothes, they are performing a sacred duty. The queen is not just a person, but a symbol, and every aspect of her life, even the most mundane, is infused with a kind of holy significance. It's a striking contrast to the brutal, unceremonious way you handle the guards' uniforms. Your existence is a world away from hers, a gulf that you can never hope to cross. A fun, albeit grim, fact you learn is that the laundresses of the Chosun court were not just responsible for washing clothes. They also had to meticulously document every single piece of clothing that came in and out of the laundry. This was a system of checks and balances designed to prevent theft and to keep a precise inventory of the vast royal wardrobe. You are often tasked with helping to count the thousands of pieces of clothing, a mind-numbing task that seems to go on forever. It's a testament to the Chosun Dynasty's obsessive attention to detail and control a system where everything down to the last sock was accounted for. The physical toll of the work is immense. Your back is a constant dull ache. Your hands are a mess of cuts and calluses. The days are a blur of hard labor, and you often find yourself falling asleep as soon as your head hits the mat. The older maids, the ones who have survived this for years, have a certain grim humor about it. One of them, a woman with a face like a dried plum, tells you, "The palace will chew you up and spit you out, girl. The only way to survive is to become a part of it. Become the water, the soap, the thread. Lose yourself, and you will find your place." You don't understand her at the time, but her words linger in your mind, a chilling prophecy of the life you are about to live. The hierarchy in the laundry room is just as rigid as the one in the main court. There are the older senior maids who get to delegate tasks and have slightly less physically demanding work. Then there are the middle-ranking maids who do most of the hard labor but have some authority over the newcomers. And then there are you, the new girls, the ones who get the most difficult, most unpleasant tasks. You are often sent to fetch water from the well, a long and arduous journey with two heavy buckets that dig into your shoulders. The senior maids call you by your new name, but it doesn't feel like it belongs to you. It's just a sound they use to get your attention, a command. One day you make a mistake. A small but significant one. You accidentally mix a basket of the king's clothes with the uniforms of the guards. It's a simple, innocent error, a moment of exhaustion-fueled carelessness. But the consequences are anything but simple. The older maid who discovers your mistake lets out a sharp gasp, her eyes wide with fear and anger. She slaps you across the face, a stinging blow that makes your ears ring. "You fool," she hisses. "Do you know what you have done? You have desecrated the king's garments. You are terrified. You stand there, your cheek throbbing, your heart pounding in your chest. You are convinced you are going to be beaten or worse, thrown out of the palace. But the maid, after her initial burst of anger, seems to calm down. She looks around furtively, her eyes darting from side to side. "Don't ever speak of this," she whispers, her voice low and urgent. "Not a word to anyone. If anyone finds out, we will both be punished." She quickly separates the clothes and gives you a new task, her face a mask of grim determination. You realize that in this place, a mistake is not just a personal failure, but a shared burden, a secret that can bring down not just you, but everyone around you. You learn to live in a world of secrets, a world where trust is a rare and dangerous commodity. Historians still debate whether this kind of strict hierarchical system was truly effective in preventing corruption and maintaining order. Some argue that it created a culture of fear and silence, where small mistakes were hidden and larger issues were left unaddressed. Others suggest that it was a necessary evil, a way to manage a massive and diverse population of servants and officials. For you, the debate is academic. The reality is the stinging pain in your cheek and the fear that now gnaws at you, a cold, hard knot in the pit of your stomach. You are no longer just a maid. You are a repository of secrets, a silent witness to the hidden world of the court. You're so busy working that you barely have time to think about food. When the meals are served, you eat quickly, savoring every mouthful of the bland rice and pickled vegetables. You are always hungry, a gnawing emptiness that no amount of food seems to fill. You dream of the hearty stews and fresh vegetables of your village, of the simple, satisfying meals you once took for granted. The food here is fuel, nothing more. It keeps your body moving, but it does nothing to nourish your soul. You begin to notice the other maids more, their faces becoming more distinct in the sea of anonymity. There's one girl a few years older than you who is always humming a soft, mournful tune while she works. She never speaks, but her eyes are a deep ocean of sadness. You wonder what her story is, what life she left behind. Another girl is a constant chatterbox, a stream of whispered gossip and stories that you can't quite make out. She is a source of amusement and annoyance for the other maids, a constant reminder that some people can't be silenced, no matter how hard the palace tries. And then there's the senior maid who slapped you. She is a woman of contradictions, a harsh taskmaster who also seems to carry a heavy burden of her own. You see a flicker of sadness in her eyes, sometimes a brief moment, where her stern mask slips and you wonder if she too dreams of a different life. The constant repetition of your work begins to have a strange effect on you. You become a machine, your movements automatic and efficient. You no longer think about the pain in your hands or the ache in your back. You just work. You scrub, you wring, you fold. The world shrinks to the size of your washing basin, the pile of clothes, the rising sun, and the setting moon. The girl you once were, the one who loved the smell of the earth and the sound of her mother's singing, is fading away, replaced by this new hardened version of yourself. You are becoming a true palace maid, a silent, efficient cog in the great machine of the court. It's a brutal transformation, a stripping away of your identity and your past. But it's also a form of survival. You realize that the only way to endure this life is to become a part of it, to let go of the things that once defined you. You are learning the first and most important lesson of the Chosun Dynasty court. To survive, you must first lose yourself. You are a ghost, a shadow, a silent servant, but you are still here. You are still breathing, and for now, that is enough. The bell rings again, signaling the end of the day. You are exhausted, but you still have to put away your tools, clean your station, and prepare for the next day. The other maids are already leaving their weary bodies, moving towards the communal room. You finish your tasks, your hands moving with a practiced, robotic efficiency. You are a part of the machine now, and the machine never stops. The days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months. You are no longer the girl who arrived at the palace gates with wide, terrified eyes. The endless labor has chiseled away at your spirit, hardening you into a more resilient, if less joyful version of yourself. Your hands are no longer raw, they are calloused and strong. Your back no longer aches with every movement. It has learned to bear the weight. You have become a part of the royal laundry, a silent, efficient cog in its relentless machine. But as you navigate the physical demands, you are also learning to navigate a more dangerous and less visible world. The treacherous web of court politics and rivalries. The laundry room is a microcosm of the entire court, a place where the smallest actions can have the largest consequences. It is here, among the billowing steam and the smell of lye soap, that you first begin to understand the unspoken rules of this world. You learn to listen to the whispers, the half-finished sentences, the knowing glances. You learn that a simple request for a favor can be a test of loyalty, and that an act of kindness can be a trap. The older maids, the ones who have survived for years, are masters of this game. They have a sixth sense for danger, a keen eye for deceit. They are not just laundry maids, they are seasoned politicians, survivors in a world that wants to see them fail. One of the most peculiar things you observe is the rivalry between the laundry maids who serve the queen and those who serve the concubines. They work in separate parts of the laundry room, their basins and drying racks divided by an imaginary but very real line. They don't talk to each other, but they watch each other constantly, their eyes filled with a quiet, simmering animosity. You learn that the quality of the queen's clothes is a matter of great pride for her maids, a silent competition against the maids who serve her rivals. A single thread out of place, a stain that can't be removed, is not just a mistake. It is a political statement, an act of defiance, or worse, a sign of incompetence. You witness a small but revealing skirmish one day. A new girl assigned to the queen's side accidentally drops a piece of the queen's silk on the floor. It's a minor thing, a simple accident, but the senior maid on the concubine's side sees it, and a cruel, knowing smile spreads across her face. "Such carelessness," she says, her voice dripping with mock concern. "I hope Her Majesty doesn't catch a chill from such dirty clothes." The queen's maid glares at her, a silent promise of future retaliation in her eyes. You realize then that this is not just about laundry. It's about loyalty, about power, about the endless struggle for influence within the palace walls. It's a game of shadows and whispers, and you are just a pawn in the middle of it. This is a world where gossip is currency, and a whispered word can be as deadly as a poison arrow. You learn to be careful with your words, to never reveal too much about yourself, to never trust anyone completely. You learn that the girl who smiles at you one day might be the one who betrays you the next. The palace is filled with beautiful women, all of them vying for the king's attention, for a chance to escape the drudgery of their lives. And you, a low-ranking maid, are a silent observer of this brutal competition. You see the hopeful glances, the carefully orchestrated meetings, the crushed dreams? You see the smiles that hide a dagger, the compliments that are really insults. A humorous but also dark fact you learn from a senior maid is about the secret language of the court. Apparently, the maids had a system of communicating with each other through their laundry folding techniques. A specific fold could mean a new concubine had arrived. A different one could signal the queen's displeasure. It's a testament to how every single action in the palace, no matter how mundane, was infused with a deeper meaning. It's like a secret code, a silent way for the women of the court to communicate and survive in a world where open conversation was dangerous. You can't help but smile at the sheer ingenuity of it, even as you feel the chill of its underlying necessity. You are so good at your job now that you are sometimes chosen for more delicate tasks. One day, you are asked to help transport the newly washed and folded clothes to the inner court, the part of the palace reserved for the royal family and the high-ranking officials. It's the first time you will see this part of the palace, and your heart pounds with a mix of fear and curiosity. You walk through grand courtyards and ornate hallways, your eyes wide with wonder. The air here is different. It's scented with expensive perfumes and the rich, earthy smell of polished wood. The sounds are different too. The soft rustle of silk, the gentle chimes of wind bells, the hushed voices of servants. This is the world your labor supports, the world you are forever a part of, and yet will never truly be a part of. You see the beautiful concubines for the first time walking through the courtyards in their exquisite, colorful handboks. They are like butterflies, their faces painted with a delicate, ethereal makeup. They are stunning, but their beauty is a fragile thing, a temporary state that is dependent on the king's favor. You see the queen, a woman of immense power and authority, but her face is etched with a certain kind of weariness, a knowledge of the dangers that surround her. You see the high-ranking officials, men in fine robes, their faces stern and impassive. You are a ghost, a shadow, a silent observer. You keep your eyes down, your steps light, and your face a mask of impassivity. You don't want to be seen to be noticed, to draw any attention to yourself. Historians still debate the true level of power held by the Chosun Dynasty's court ladies. Some argue they were merely pawns in a patriarchal system with no real power of their own. Others contend that, through their control of information and their influence over the king and queen, they wielded a significant amount of power behind the scenes. For you, the truth is somewhere in the middle. You see the silent power they hold, the way a single word from a concubine can change a man's fate, the way a look from the queen can silence a room. But you also see the precariousness of their position, the constant fear of losing favor, of being replaced by a younger, more beautiful woman. You are a low-ranking maid, but you are a part of this world now. You are a silent witness, a bearer of secrets, a player in a game you don't fully understand. You are learning the unwritten rules of survival, the art of observation, the power of silence. This life is not just about washing clothes. It's about navigating a world of political intrigue, of subtle power struggles, of dangerous secrets. Your physical labor is a mask, a way to hide the more important work you are doing, observing, learning, and surviving. And as you walk through the inner court, a silent, insignificant figure, you feel a shift within you. The fear is still there, but it is now mixed with a new, quiet sense of determination. You are not just a victim of this life, you are a survivor, and you are just getting started. You return to the laundry room, your mind buzzing with the images and sounds of the inner court. The grandiosity of it all, the beauty and the danger, fills you with a sense of awe. But as you plunge your hands back into the cold water, you are reminded of your place. You are still just a laundry maid. You are still just a servant. The inner court is a world you can glimpse but never truly enter. And yet, you have a new purpose now. You are no longer just surviving, you are learning. You are a student of the court, a silent scholar of its politics and its power dynamics. You are learning to read the invisible language of the palace, and you are starting to understand the deadly game being played around you. The quiet rhythms of the laundry room have become a part of you, a second skin. Your days are a predictable cycle of washing, scrubbing, and folding. Your nights are a brief respite before the bell signals another day of toil. You've become a ghost, a shadow, moving through the palace unseen and unheard. This is how you've survived by becoming invisible. But in a world of whispers and hidden agendas, true invisibility is an impossible luxury. One day you realize that you have not been as unseen as you thought. Someone has been watching you, and that someone is the king. It starts with a simple task. You are chosen to deliver a special set of royal robes to the king's private chambers. This is a rare honor, a task usually reserved for the most trusted of senior maids. You don't know why you were chosen, and the older maids look at you with a mix of envy and suspicion. You are filled with a mix of dread and fear. To be noticed by the king is a double-edged sword. It can bring you power, but it can also bring you ruin. The inner court is a world of shadows, and the king is its sun, a powerful force that can either warm you or burn you to a crisp. You walk to the king's chambers, your heart pounding in your chest. The robes are heavy, a beautiful brocaded silk that feels alien in your calloused hands. You keep your eyes down, your steps measured and silent. You are a mere maid, a servant, and your purpose is to deliver the robes and leave. You are not meant to be seen to be noticed. But as you enter the chambers, a place of stunning beauty and opulence, you hear a voice. Wait! It says a quiet, calm command that makes you stop dead in your tracks. You stand there, your head bowed, your eyes fixed on the floor. You can hear the rustle of silk as the king approaches you. He is a distant, almost mythical figure to you, a man whose existence is the reason for your own servitude. You can't bring yourself to look up to meet his gaze. A hand gently lifts your chin, and you are forced to look at him. His eyes are not cold and indifferent like the officials who selected you. They are warm, curious, and they hold a certain kind of sadness. He doesn't say anything, just looks at you, his gaze lingering for a moment too long. Then he lets go of your chin and takes the robes from your hands. You have beautiful hands. He says a quiet, unexpected compliment. They are strong. You don't know how to respond. You are a simple maid, and this is the king. You just stand there, mute and trembling. He smiles a soft, weary smile that seems to hide a world of secrets. Go! He says, his voice a gentle command. Go back to your work. You bow low, your head almost touching the floor, and you back out of the chambers, your heart still pounding. You don't know what just happened. All you know is that you are no longer invisible. You have been seen, and that is the most dangerous thing that can happen to you in this palace. You return to the laundry room a ghost of a person. The other maids look at you, their eyes filled with a new kind of curiosity. They ask you what happened, and you lie telling them that the king was not there, that you just delivered the robes to his attendants. You know that to tell the truth would be to invite a world of trouble. The other maids would see you not as a friend, but as a threat, a rival. You are now a secret keeper, a silent conspirator in your own fate. A humorous and surprisingly insightful tidbit you recall is from a conversation you overheard between two older maids. They were talking about the king's eye, a mythical ability some monarchs were rumored to have to spot true beauty and talent even in the lowest ranks of the court. One of them joked that the king's eye was actually just a clever way for a monarch to find new young talent without causing a major scandal. You can't help but feel a chilling sense of irony now. The king's eye has fallen on you, and it feels less like a blessing and more like a curse. The world around you has shifted. The other maids who once ignored you now watch you. The senior maids who once treated you with indifference now treat you with a cold, polite distance. You are a threat, a potential rival, a source of danger. You are no longer just a laundry maid. You are an object of speculation, a subject of whispered gossip. You are no longer invisible, and you have no idea how to become invisible again. Historians still debate the true nature of the relationships between the Chosun kings and their court ladies. While some were known to have had deep and lasting bonds with their consorts, others were seen as mere pawns in political games. For you, this academic debate is now a personal reality. You are now a pawn apiece on the chessboard of the court. You don't know who is playing the game or what the rules are, but you know that you are now a part of it. Your life is a constant state of paranoia. You are afraid to speak, afraid to make a mistake, afraid to draw any more attention to yourself. You work harder than ever trying to prove that you are still just a simple maid. You try to become invisible again, to disappear into the relentless rhythm of the laundry room. But you can't. The king's gaze is a brand on your skin, a mark that sets you apart from everyone else. You are no longer one of them. You are a potential concubine, a potential rival, a potential enemy. You are a beautiful, fragile thing that has been plucked from obscurity and placed in the full glare of the sun. And you have no idea if you are going to survive the heat. You think about the king's words, his quiet, unexpected compliment about your hands. They are a source of pride for you now, a reminder of the life you once had, the life of a simple girl who worked in the fields. But they are also a source of fear. They are a symbol of your new reality, a reality where your hands, once a source of strength, are now a source of danger. You are no longer a person but a thing to be desired, to be competed for, and you know with a chilling certainty that this is the beginning of the end of your quiet, simple life. The court has seen you, and it will not forget you. You are no longer just a laundry maid. You are a maid who has been seen by the king, and in the treacherous world of the Chosun Dynasty court, that single moment has changed everything. The invisible walls that once protected you have crumbled, and you are now exposed to the full, blinding scrutiny of the palace's most powerful women. The queen and the concubines are not just watching you, they are studying you, a new player on a chessboard, where a single wrong move means your death. Your life has been irrevocably altered, and your survival now depends on your ability to navigate this new, dangerous reality. The whispers follow you wherever you go. You hear them in the communal sleeping quarters, in the hallways, even in the laundry room. They are like a swarm of insects buzzing around you, their words a poisonous mix of curiosity, envy, and contempt. "Did you hear?" they whisper. "The king noticed her. The girl from the laundry." You are now a story, a rumor, a topic of endless gossip. You are no longer a person. You are a symbol of a potential threat to the established order. You feel their eyes on you, sharp and appraising. The other maids who were once your indifferent equals now treat you with a new kind of deference, a cold, calculated respect that feels more like a warning than a kindness. The senior maids who once ignored you now scrutinize your every move. They watch how you fold the clothes, how you carry the buckets, how you hold your head. They are looking for a flaw, a mistake, a reason to bring you down. You are under constant silent surveillance, and you are terrified. But the most terrifying gaze of all comes from the inner court. You feel it even when you're in the deepest parts of the laundry room, a distant but powerful force. You know that the queen is watching you. You know that the concubines are watching you. They are the true players in this game, the women who hold the real power in the palace. And you, a lowly maid, have somehow managed to catch the eye of the one man who holds the keys to their power. One day you are called to the inner court again. This time it's not to deliver laundry. You are summoned by the queen's chief lady-in-waiting, a woman with a face as hard and unyielding as granite. You stand before her, your head bowed, your hands trembling. You feel a wave of dizziness wash over you, a sudden, overpowering sense of dread. You know with a chilling certainty that this is it. This is where your new, dangerous life truly begins. The lady-in-waiting doesn't speak. She just looks at you, her eyes like two chips of ice. She circles you slowly, her gaze raking over your simple uniform, your plain face, your calloused hands. It's a silent, humiliating inspection, a way of reminding you of your place, of your insignificance. She is not just a person. She is an extension of the queen's power, a manifestation of her displeasure. Finally, she speaks, her voice a low, cold whisper. "The queen has heard of you." She says her words sending a shiver down your spine. She has heard that the king has noticed you. She is curious. She wants to see what the king sees. Her words are like daggers, each one a sharp, precise blow. You are not a person to her. You are a curiosity, a problem, a threat. You are taken to the queen's chambers, a world of stunning beauty and opulence that makes the king's chambers look sparse. The room is filled with silk hangings, delicate porcelain vases, and the scent of expensive incense. The queen is sitting on a low platform, a vision of power and grace. Her face is a mask of serene beauty, but her eyes, when they meet yours, are filled with a fierce, cold intelligence. She is not just a woman. She is a force of nature, a queen who has survived years of political intrigue and rivalries. She is a woman who knows how to survive. And she is now studying you a new threat to her power. You are instructed to stand in the middle of the room, a small, insignificant figure in a sea of grandeur. The queen doesn't speak. She just looks at you, a long, appraising stare that seems to peel away your skin to look into your very soul. You feel completely exposed, completely vulnerable. You are a simple girl from a farming village, and this is the queen of the Chosun Dynasty. The power imbalance is so immense, it's almost comical. Almost. A humorous and oddly reassuring thought you recall from one of your childhood stories is that the Chosun kings were sometimes so overwhelmed by the sheer number of women in the palace that they would often mistake one for another. You can't help but feel a tiny, fleeting hope that this is all a misunderstanding, a case of mistaken identity. But then you remember the king's words, his quiet, unexpected compliment about your hands, and the hope vanishes as quickly as it came. This is no mistake. This is real. Historians still debate the true level of influence the queen had over the Chosun kings. While some were known to have been deeply in love with their queens, others were more concerned with the political alliances that their marriages brought. The concubines, too, were not just a source of pleasure, they were a way for the king to form new alliances and to maintain a complex balance of power. For you, this debate is now a personal and terrifying reality. You are no longer just a maid, you are a political object, a potential pawn in a game of power that you don't even know how to play. The queen finally speaks, her voice a soft, gentle melody that belies the steel behind her eyes. Tell me, she says her words like a silken thread. What is your name? You tell her your new palace name, the name that has been a silent stranger to you for so long. And your real name? She asks, her voice still soft, still gentle. You hesitate for a moment, a wave of fear washing over you. To reveal your real name is to reveal your past, your family, your identity. It is a sign of weakness, of vulnerability that can be exploited. But you know that to lie to the queen is a far greater sin. You tell her your real name, your voice, a barely audible whisper. She smiles a slow, predatory smile that doesn't reach her eyes. A pretty name, she says, her voice still soft. A pretty girl. She dismisses you with a wave of her hand, and you back out of the chambers, your heart pounding in your chest. You have just had your first audience with the queen, and you have survived. But you know with a chilling certainty that this is not over. This is just the beginning. The queen has seen you and she has marked you. You are now a rival, a threat, a problem that she will have to deal with, and you have no idea how you are going to survive what comes next. The queen's silent scrutiny has branded you. The soft cruelty of her gaze, the cold steel behind her gentle words, these are now a part of you, a memory that you cannot escape. You are no longer just a maid who was seen by the king. You are a maid who has been inspected by the queen, and that makes you a player in a game you never asked to join. The political intrigue and cunning plots of the court, once a distant rumor, are now a suffocating reality. You are no longer just an observer, you are a target. The change in the other maids is subtle but profound. The whispers have a new, sharper edge to them. They no longer speak of you as a potential concubine, but as a foolish girl who has drawn the ire of the queen. They watch you with a kind of morbid fascination, like they're watching a condemned person on their way to the gallows. They are waiting for you to make a mistake, for the queen to make her move. They are no longer your rivals. They are your audience, and they are expecting a tragedy. You learn through a series of small, unsettling events that the queen has her own network of informants. A minor mistake in the laundry, a moment of clumsiness, a whispered word to a friend, all of it seems to get back to her. You are constantly on edge, your senses heightened to a razor's edge. You feel like you are walking through a field of landmines where a single misstep can be fatal. The palace, once a place of grand beauty and opulence, now feels like a prison. Its high walls and ornate buildings a part of a cage designed to hold you. You realize that your greatest asset, your quiet invisibility, has been taken from you. The king's gaze has made you a target, and the queen's scrutiny has made you a problem. You are now a symbol, a pawn, a tool to be used and discarded. But you are also a person, a girl with a name and a past and a quiet, fierce will to survive. You know that you cannot fight the queen head on. She is a force of nature, a woman who has survived years of political intrigue. You are a simple maid, a girl with calloused hands and a heavy heart. You have to learn to fight with the only weapons you have: your wits, your silence, and your intuition. A fun fact: you recall a piece of gossip whispered by a senior maid is that the queen's favorite weapon was not a sword or a dagger, but a subtle, poisonous smile. She would use kindness as a way to disarm her rivals, to make them reveal their weaknesses. And then she would strike not with violence, but with a quiet, devastating political maneuver. The maid had warned you, beware of the queen's smile, girl. It's more dangerous than a king's frown. The words now ring with a chilling clarity. You realize that the queen's curiosity about you was not a sign of interest, but a prelude to a battle you are not equipped to fight. Historians still debate the extent of the political influence of Chosun Dynasty queens. While some were known to have a significant role in their husbands' rule, others were largely confined to the inner court, their power limited to managing the palace and the royal family. For you, the truth is a mix of both. The queen is a master of the inner court, a woman who has built a network of informants and spies, a woman who can use a single word to change a person's fate. She may not rule the kingdom, but she rules the palace, and you are now in her crosshairs. The cunning plots against you start small, almost unnoticeable. A basket of laundry for the king's chambers is secretly switched with a basket of old, dirty clothes. A small but significant piece of gossip is planted among the maids, a rumor that you have been secretly meeting with the king's advisors. You feel a growing sense of paranoia, a constant fear that someone is trying to frame you to get you punished, to get you banished. You don't know who to trust, who to talk to. You are completely alone, a single insignificant person against a massive, powerful machine. But you are also learning. You are learning to read the hidden language of the court. You are learning to see the shadows behind the smiles, the daggers behind the compliments. You are learning to anticipate the attacks, to see the traps before they are sprung. You are becoming a master of your own survival, a silent, solitary warrior in a war of whispers and intrigue. You realize that your greatest weapon is not your beauty or your innocence, but your mind. You are learning to think like a politician, to see the world not as a place of friends and enemies, but as a chessboard of pawns and queens. One of the more unsettling events is when you find a small, beautifully embroidered pouch in your belongings. It's a gift, a token of a secret admirer. But you know that nothing in this palace is a simple gift. It's a trap, a way to link you to a man, a potential lover, a man who is not the king. To be caught with such a gift would be to invite punishment, to be accused of an act of treason. You quickly and secretly dispose of the pouch, your heart pounding in your chest. You are no longer just a maid. You are a person who is being set up, a person who is being framed. And you have no idea who is doing it or why. You are living in a world of constant low-grade fear, a world where every smile is a potential trap, every kind word a potential lie. You are a girl from a farming village, a girl who once knew the names of the plants and the feel of the earth. But that girl is gone now, replaced by a hardened survivor, a silent warrior in a world of deceit and betrayal. You are a pawn, a symbol, a problem. But you are also a person who is still breathing, still fighting, still surviving. And you know with a grim determination that you are not going to let them win. You are not going to be broken. You are going to survive. Your life has become a high-stakes game of chess, and you are a pawn on a board full of queens and bishops. The silent war of the court, once a distant rumor, is now your daily reality. You are constantly under attack, a series of small, calculated plots designed to make you stumble, to make you fall, to get you banished, or worse, executed. But you are not just a pawn, you are a survivor. And you are learning to fight back with the only weapons you have: your wits, your silence, and your intuition. But in the midst of this terrifying battle, you find an unexpected source of solace, a brief moment of peace in a world of turmoil. You find a friend in the most unlikely of places, the Scholar's Garden. The Scholar's Garden is a small, quiet place, a sanctuary in the middle of the sprawling, chaotic palace. It's a place where the air is scented with the delicate fragrance of plum blossoms and the sound of a small waterfall as a soothing melody. It's a place where the scholars of the court come to study, to meditate, to escape the endless political games of the court. You are sent there one day to deliver a fresh stack of scrolls to a young scholar, a man who is known for his quiet demeanor and his love of books. You walk through the garden, your heart still pounding from the fear of the day's events. You have just narrowly escaped a trap set by one of the concubines, a false accusation of theft that you managed to disprove with a quick, clever lie. You are exhausted, your mind a whirlwind of fear and paranoia. But as you enter the garden, a sense of calm washes over you. The beauty of the place, the quiet serenity, is a balm to your wounded soul. The scholar is sitting by the waterfall, his eyes closed, a scroll in his hands. He is not like the other men of the court. His face is not stern and impassive, but soft and thoughtful. He is dressed in a simple, unadorned robe, and his hands, unlike yours, are delicate and uncalloused. He is a man of books and ideas, a man who lives in a world of words and philosophy, a world that seems a million miles away from the brutal reality of the court. You stand there for a moment, a silent, unseen observer. You don't want to disturb him. But then he opens his eyes and sees you. His gaze is not cold and appraising like the queen's, or curious and dangerous like the king's. It is gentle kind and filled with a certain kind of empathy. "Hello," he says, his voice a soft, quiet melody. "Are you the new maid?" You nod, your voice a barely audible whisper. You hand him the scrolls and he takes them from you with a polite nod. "Thank you," he says, his gaze lingering on your face for a moment too long. "You look tired." His words are a simple statement, but they are filled with a genuine concern that you haven't heard in years. You are not a maid to him. You are a person who is tired, a person who is suffering. A humorous and surprisingly insightful tidbit you recall is from a conversation you overheard between two older maids. They were talking about the scholars of the court and how they were useless dreamers, men who lived in a world of books and had no idea how to survive in the real world of the palace. One of them had joked that the only thing a scholar was good for was writing a good love poem. You can't help but feel a pang of sadness now, a realization that the things they saw as weaknesses, kindness, empathy, a love of beauty, are the very things you now crave. The very things that are a rarity in this brutal world. You stand there for a moment, unable to leave. You feel a strange sense of comfort in his presence, a feeling of safety that you haven't felt since you left your village. He notices your hesitation. "You can stay for a while if you like." He says, his voice a quiet invitation. The plum blossoms are in full bloom. They are a beautiful sight. You hesitate for a moment, a wave of fear washing over you. To stay here to be seen with a scholar could be dangerous. It could be seen as an act of treason, a sign of disloyalty to the king. But the pull of his kindness, the allure of the quiet garden, is too strong to resist. You stay. You sit on a small stone bench, a silent observer in his world of peace and beauty. He doesn't speak, but he hums a quiet, mournful tune as he reads his scrolls. It is a simple, beautiful melody that reminds you of the songs your mother used to sing. It is a song of home, a song of a life you have lost. You feel the tears welling up in your eyes, but you quickly blink them away. You cannot afford to show weakness, not even in this quiet, peaceful garden. Historians still debate the true nature of the relationships between the scholars and the court ladies of the Chosun Dynasty. While some argue that they were strictly forbidden, others contend that they were a rare source of companionship and intellectual stimulation for the women of the court. For you, the truth is a mix of both. This friendship, this quiet moment of peace, is a forbidden luxury, a dangerous secret that you have to protect with your life. But it is also a source of strength, a reminder that there is still beauty and kindness in the world, even in the darkest of places. You return to the laundry room, your mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The fear is still there, but it is now mixed with a new, quiet sense of hope. You have found a friend, a person who sees you not as a maid, not as a pawn, not as a rival, but as a person. This friendship, this secret solace, is a dangerous luxury, but it is also a reason to keep fighting, a reason to keep surviving. You are no longer just a survivor, you are a person who has found a reason to live, a reason to hope, a reason to fight. And you know with a grim determination that you are going to protect this secret with your life. The quiet solace of the scholar's garden, the forbidden friendship you've forged has become your secret anchor in a sea of turmoil. It is a dangerous, fragile thing, but it is also a source of strength, a reminder that not all of the palace is a place of shadows and deceit. You cherish these stolen moments, these brief respites from the relentless paranoia of the court, but even in the tranquil beauty of the garden, danger lurks. One day you stumble upon a secret that could change the fate of the entire dynasty, a secret that forces you to make a dangerous choice. You are in the scholar's garden helping him organize a stack of old scrolls. It is a quiet, peaceful afternoon, and you are lost in the rhythm of the work, the gentle scent of old paper and ink, a comforting presence. The scholar is talking about a new book he's reading, a philosophical treatise on the nature of power and authority. He is a world away from the brutal reality of the court, a man who sees the world through the lens of books and ideas. You listen to him, a silent observer in his world of words, and for a brief moment you feel a sense of peace. But then you see it. Tucked away in a dusty corner of a forgotten chest, hidden beneath a pile of old discarded scrolls, is a beautiful, ornate box. It is not a scholar's box, it is a king's box, a box meant for a royal seal or a personal decree. You feel a sudden sharp pang of curiosity. You know with a chilling certainty that this box does not belong here. It is a secret, a piece of a puzzle that you do not want to solve. The scholar notices your gaze. He looks at the box and a look of sudden, sharp fear crosses his face. He quickly closes the chest and looks at you, his eyes wide with a quiet desperation. You did not see that, he says, his voice a low, urgent whisper. You did not see that box. Ever. You are a maid, a silent servant, and you know the unspoken rules of the court. You nod a silent promise. But the image of the box, its ornate beauty, its forbidden nature is burned into your mind. Later, when the scholar is gone for a brief moment, you can't resist. You open the chest and pull out the box. It is heavy, made of a dark, fragrant wood, and it is sealed with a beautiful, ornate lock. You feel a wave of fear wash over you. To open this box would be to invite a world of trouble. It would be an act of treason, a crime that could get you killed. But the curiosity is too strong. You have to know what is inside. A humorous and surprisingly insightful tidbit you recall from a conversation you overheard between two older maids is that the palace was full of hidden treasures and forbidden secrets. One of them had joked that the palace was like a giant treasure chest, and that the only people who knew where the keys were the ghosts. You can't help but feel a chilling sense of irony now. You have found a key, a forbidden secret, and it feels less like a treasure and more like a curse. You find a small, delicate hairpin in your pocket, and with a trembling hand you manage to pick the lock. The box opens with a soft, quiet click. Inside you find a scroll. It is not a scholar's scroll, but a royal decree sealed with the king's personal seal. You unroll it with trembling hands, and you read it. The words on the scroll are a declaration, a secret plan to change the line of succession, to replace the current heir with a different prince, a prince who is a distant relative of the scholar. It is a plot, a conspiracy, a plan to change the future of the entire Chosun Dynasty. You feel a wave of shock and terror wash over you. You are a maid, a girl from a farming village, and you have just stumbled upon a secret that could get the king, the scholar, and a prince killed. You are no longer just a pawn in a game of court politics. You are a player, a person who holds the fate of the entire dynasty in her hands. You are a person who has to make a choice. Historians still debate the true level of political intrigue and conspiracies that were common in the Chosun Dynasty. While some argue that it was a time of relative stability, others contend that the court was a hotbed of power struggles and secret plots. For you, this academic debate is now a personal and terrifying reality. You are a living testament to the fact that the palace is not just a place of beauty and opulence, but a place of danger and deceit, a place where a single secret can change the fate of an entire kingdom. You quickly roll up the scroll and put it back in the box. You close the box and place it back in the chest, your hands trembling with fear. You feel a sense of dread, a chilling certainty that you are no longer safe. You know that you cannot keep this secret to yourself. But you also know that to reveal it would be to betray the scholar, the man who has shown you kindness, the man who has become your only friend. You are caught in a moral dilemma, a choice between loyalty and survival, between friendship and treason. You return to your work, your mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. You are a maid, a girl with a name and a past, and you have just been given a secret that could change the fate of an entire kingdom. You have to make a choice that will not only affect your life, but the lives of everyone around you. You are no longer just a survivor, you are a person who has to become a hero or a traitor, and you have no idea which one you are going to be. The Forbidden Scroll is a physical weight in your mind, a secret so heavy it threatens to crush you. The tranquil scholar's garden, once a sanctuary, is now a place of unbearable tension. Your friendship, a fragile, beautiful thing, is now a dangerous, complicit bond. You are a maid who holds the fate of the dynasty in her hands, a simple girl caught in the middle of a political maelstrom. And as if that weren't enough, the queen, ever the master of the long game, is about to make her final devastating move. You return to your duties, but the world has changed. The fear is no longer a low-grade hum. It is a constant, screaming alarm in your head. You see a conspirator in every face, a spy in every shadow. You watch the scholar from a distance, a silent, terrified witness to his every move. You know that you are not just protecting a secret. You are protecting a man, a friend, a person who has shown you kindness in a world of cruelty. But you also know that to protect him is to endanger yourself and the entire kingdom. The queen's move comes not as a roar, but as a whisper. You are called to the inner court again, not to the queen's chambers this time, but to a small private audience room. You stand before her, your head bowed, your heart pounding in your chest. She is not alone. The king is there too, a silent, brooding presence. His face is a mask of impassivity, but his eyes, when they meet yours, are filled with a quiet, sorrowful intensity. You are a pawn in a game you don't understand, and the two most powerful people in the kingdom are about to use you as their final piece. The queen smiles, a slow, predatory smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "My dear," she says, her voice a soft, gentle melody that belies the steel behind her words. "We have heard some troubling rumors. Rumors of a conspiracy, of a plot to change the line of succession." Your blood runs cold. You know with a chilling certainty that she knows. She doesn't know about the scroll, not yet, but she knows enough. She knows about the scholar, about his distant relative, the prince. She has been watching, waiting, and now she is making her move. She turns to the king, a look of serene devotion on her face. "My love," she says, her voice filled with a fake saccharine sweetness. "I have always been loyal to you, to our son, the rightful heir. But this conspiracy, this treachery, it breaks my heart." She looks at you, her eyes filled with a cruel, knowing triumph. "This girl," she says, her voice now a low, venomous hiss. "This girl knows something. She is a part of this. She knows where the proof is." The king looks at you, his eyes filled with a quiet, sorrowful intensity. You know that he is not a part of this. He is a victim of his own circumstances, a man who is caught between a cunning, powerful queen and a group of ambitious, desperate scholars. He is a man who is tired of the endless political games, a man who just wants a moment of peace. He is a person, a man who once looked at you with a certain kind of empathy. But he is also the king, and his first loyalty is to his kingdom, to his son, the heir. Historians still debate the true level of power held by Chosun Dynasty queens. While some were seen as ruthless power brokers, others were viewed as the silent, supportive force behind their husbands. For you, the debate is over. The queen is a master of the long game, a woman who has been playing a quiet, subtle game of power for years. She has been biding her time, waiting for the right moment to strike. And you, a simple maid, have just become her final and most crucial move. The queen gives you a choice, a cruel, impossible choice. "Tell us where the proof is," she says, her voice a quiet, venomous whisper. Tell us who is involved, and your life will be spared. We will make you a concubine, a woman of power and prestige. You will be safe. But if you refuse, she says, her voice now a low, dangerous growl. If you refuse, you will be executed for treason. Your family will be shamed. Your name will be erased from history. A humorous and oddly reassuring thought you recall is from a conversation you overheard between two older maids. They were talking about the Queen's Gambit, a mythical and supposedly foolproof chess move that the Queen was rumored to have used to get rid of her rivals. One of them had joked that the Queen's Gambit was just a clever way of saying, I'm going to get rid of you and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't help but feel a chilling sense of irony now. The Queen has just made her gambit, and you are the pawn she is about to sacrifice. You look at the king, his eyes still filled with that quiet, sorrowful intensity. He is not a man of cruelty, but he is a man of duty. He is a man who will choose his kingdom over a simple maid. You know with a chilling certainty that you are on your own. You have to make a choice between your own survival and the life of the scholar, your only friend. You think about the scholar, the man who showed you kindness, the man who saw you as a person, not a maid. You think about the quiet solace of his garden, the gentle melody of his humming, the way he looked at you with a certain kind of empathy. You think about the life you once had, the life of a simple girl who loved her family and the quiet rhythm of the seasons. You think about the cruel, brutal world of the palace, the world of shadows and deceit, the world that has taken everything from you, and you make your choice. A choice not born of fear, but of love. A choice not born of self-preservation, but of a quiet, fierce defiance. You look at the Queen, her face a mask of serene beauty and cruel triumph. And you smile. A soft, quiet smile that holds a world of secrets. I know nothing, you say, your voice a barely audible whisper. I am just a maid. I know nothing of conspiracies. I know nothing of treachery. I know nothing. You are not just lying, you are fighting back. You are using your silence, your invisibility as a weapon. You are refusing to be her pawn, her sacrifice. The Queen's smile falters for a moment, a brief flicker of surprise in her eyes. But it quickly returns now, filled with a cold, predatory fury. You will be executed for treason. She says, her voice now a cold, dangerous growl. You will be made an example of. Your name will be erased from history. You don't respond. You just stand there, a silent, defiant figure. You have made your choice, and you are not going to back down. You are a maid, a girl with a name and a past, and you are not going to let them erase you. You are going to die with your secret, with your dignity, with your friendship. You are a pawn who has just refused to be sacrificed, and you know with a chilling certainty that the game is now truly over. The Queen's cold, predatory smile is the last thing you see before the guards drag you away. Your quiet defiance, your refusal to be a pawn in her game, has sealed your fate. You are a maid who dared to challenge the Queen, a girl who chose loyalty over survival. And now you are going to pay the ultimate price. The palace, once a world of grand beauty and opulent intrigue, is now just a cage, a place where you will spend your final days. You are thrown into a small, dark cell, a place of cold stone and damp air. The world outside the world of silk and power is a distant memory. You are alone, a prisoner of your own conscience, a girl who chose to die with her dignity rather than live with her shame. The hours turn into days, and the days turn into a quiet, resigned acceptance. You don't regret your choice. You chose to protect the scholar, the man who saw you as a person, and that is a choice you can live and die with. But then a strange thing happens. The palace falls into chaos. You can hear the distant sounds of shouting, the clash of swords, the panicked screams of maids and eunuchs. The world outside your cell is falling apart, and you are a silent, terrified witness to its demise. You realize with a chilling certainty that the scholar's plot, the secret you chose to protect, has been put into motion. The fate of the entire Chosun Dynasty is being decided outside your cell, and you are at the heart of it all. The prison guards, once stern and impassive, are now in a state of panic. They run past your cell, their faces etched with fear. They talk of a rebellion, of a surprise attack by a rival prince, the very prince the scholar was secretly supporting. The palace is no longer a place of quiet intrigue. It is a battlefield. The queen's gambit, her final move to secure her power, has backfired, and the entire kingdom is now paying the price. You sit in your cell, a silent witness to the end of a dynasty. You think about the king, the man who once looked at you with a certain kind of empathy. You wonder what his fate is if he survived the chaos. You think about the scholar, the man who showed you kindness, the man who is now a key player in a revolution. You wonder if he is safe if his plan was successful. You think about the queen, the woman who was so obsessed with power that she couldn't see the danger lurking in the shadows. You wonder if her final devastating move was also her last. A humorous and oddly insightful tidbit you recall from a conversation you overheard between two older maids is that the palace was built on a series of fault lines, both physical and political. One of them had joked that the palace was a place where a single tremor could bring the entire thing crashing down. You can't help but feel a chilling sense of irony now. The tremor has come, and the palace is indeed falling down. Historians still debate the exact reasons for the fall of the Chosun Dynasty. While some point to political corruption and foreign influence, others contend that it was a series of internal power struggles and a lack of a clear, strong leader that led to its demise. For you, the debate is over. The dynasty is falling because of the very things it was built on: power, deceit, and a constant, endless struggle for control. You are a living testament to the fact that a beautiful exterior can hide a rotten core, and that a single act of kindness can change the fate of an entire kingdom. The cell door opens and you are not met with a guard, but with a woman, a senior maid who you once thought was your enemy. Her face is etched with fear, but her eyes are filled with a strange new kind of respect. The scholar, she says, her voice a low, urgent whisper. He is now the king's new advisor. He asked me to find you. He wants you to be safe. You feel a wave of shock and relief wash over you. The scholar, the man you chose to protect, has won. His secret plot has succeeded, and he is now in a position of power. And he has not forgotten you. You are not executed. You are not banished. You are freed. You walk out of the cell into a world that is now in a state of chaotic and yet hopeful transition. The old dynasty has fallen and a new one is rising from its ashes. The palace is no longer a place of fear and paranoia, but a place of new beginnings. You are not a maid anymore. You are a survivor. You are a hero. You are a person who chose loyalty over survival, and you have won. The sun has long since set, and the hum of the fan is a gentle rhythm in the background. The story of the Chosun court is now just a memory, a tale of a world that once was. You can close your eyes now, let the sounds of the night wash over you, and drift into a peaceful sleep. The struggles, the betrayals, the quiet moments of defiance, they all fade away into the soft hum of the night. You can rest now, safe and sound, in a world that is far, far away from the brutal life of a Chosun Dynasty court lady. All the whispers, all the shadows, all the quiet fears, they can all be put to bed now. It's time to let go, to relax, to just be.